has happened?
That's right. The Yankees won. It's a great day to be a Yankee fan, I guess. I don't know. Sorry if that makes you upset if you're a Yankee hater, but I had to appreciate the rarity of them getting a win in the 2021 season, all right? Just let me have this one. Please. Thank you. But we got a full slate of baseball today. I'm excited to talk about it. We got tons of action, tons of good pitching matchups. Let's talk about them on today's MLB Preview. Before we jump into it, as always, make sure you hit that like button. Lets me know you guys want to see more content like this. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. We do these daily previews almost every day on the channel, along with tons of MLB The Show content and other baseball content. And as always, my Discord is linked in the description below, along with the Diamond in the Rough podcast and all of my socials. So make sure you go follow me on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok as well. I post on there. And last but not least, make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss when every video goes live, so you check out all the content that I've got coming your way. Now let's talk about all the games we got today. First up, we've got the 11-7 first place Milwaukee Brewers facing off against the 9-9 Chicago Cubs. The Cubs finally figured out that they could hit. Yes, it was against the Mets, but they did hit. They swept the Mets, so that's a good thing for them. Brett Anderson on the mound for the Brewers against Kyle Hendricks and the Cubs. Hendricks has looked pretty bad so far this year, while Brett Anderson has looked pretty good, so we'll see how they're able to pitch. The average speed of a fastball in this game is going to be about 84, but it could still be a good matchup. At 12-7, the Athletics are red hot. Didn't think I was going to say that at any point this season, but good for them. They're 5 games above 500, first in the American League West. They've looked great. They face off against the 8-10 Baltimore Orioles. Cole Irvin on the mound for the Athletics. He's 1-2 with a 4.6 ERA. And then Jorge Lopez, 1-2 with an 8.56 ERA. Has not looked very good this year against a red-hot Athletics lineup and Matt Olson, who's looked really good so far this year. We'll see. I'm guessing the Athletics are going to stay hot, but the Orioles have played decent baseball, so we'll see how they're able to do in this one. At 7:10 Eastern Time, the 10-7, 3 games above 500 Kansas City Royals are against the 7-12 Detroit Tigers. Mike Minor on the mound for the Royals hasn't looked great so far this year, looking to get back to his old form with the Kansas City Royals. Maybe he should be a reliever. Maybe he's not a starter. Maybe he is a starter. He's just struggled to start the season. We'll see. He's looking to pitch well against a bad Tigers offense in this one. And then Casey Mize on the mound for the Tigers has looked great so far this year. He's 1-1 with a 3.38 ERA. He's finally kind of getting into that top prospect form that he had before he came up. Sucked last year, but I think that was just because it was a weird year. His rookie season in 2020 just not ideal. So I think he's going to continue to pitch well this year and do well against the Royals in this one. At 7-9, the Washington Nationals are up against the 7-7 New York Mets. Eric Fetty on the mound for the Washington Nationals, 1-1 with a 5.56 ERA. He has to toe the rubber with the best pitcher in baseball, Jacob deGrom, somehow just 1-1. He should have won all his starts because his ERA is just 0.45. 0.45. I'll say that one more time just so you process it. 0.45. It's actually second best in baseball behind Corbin Burns, but he's disgusting, absolutely filthy. He's looked great so far this year. Possibly on track to win his third out of fourth Cy Young. Good for him. Maybe the Mets can actually score in this one. We shall see. That is MLB.tv's free game of the day, but good luck watching because blackout restrictions still apply. I'm adding you, MLB. Be better. 7-10, the 12-7, all tied for first place with the Athletics. Seattle Mariners face off against the 12-8 first place Boston Red Sox. Yes, the Boston Red Sox and the Seattle Mariners are a matchup of first place teams today. Yusei Kikuchi on the mound for the Mariners. He faces off against Martin Perez, who's 0-1 with a 5.93 ERA. Hasn't looked great so far this year, but it doesn't matter because the Red Sox are hitting well, playing really well. Hopefully the Red Sox can continue to hit well if they want to win with Martin Perez on the hill. 7-10 tonight, the 8-10 struggling Toronto Blue Jays are up against the 10-9 Tampa Bay Rays. Two really good pitchers on the mound in this one. 3-0, the 1.47 ERA is Steven Matz. Just had to get out of New York to pitch well, apparently, on the mound for the Blue Jays. And then Tampa Bay Rays ace Tyler Glasnow on the mound for these Tampa Bay Rays. He's 2-0 with a .73 ERA. Has looked absolutely filthy this year. He's definitely fun, exciting to watch. He's got some of the nastiest stuff in baseball. Also one of the hottest guys in baseball. Not sorry, it's true. So he looks to continue to pitch well against a decent Blue Jays offense and help the Rays catch the Red Sox in the division. At 7:10, my coming off of a victory for the first time in a week, New York Yankees face off against the 8-9 Cleveland Indians. Jordan Montgomery on the mound for the Yankees. He looks to pitch well in this one, 1-1 with a 4.24 ERA. Faces off against a Logan Allen, 1-2 with a 4.5 ERA. Logan Allen hasn't looked good so far this year, but he's an Indians pitcher, so maybe he can continue. To develop and be good. We shall see. Of course, this isn't the premier pitching matchup that tomorrow's going to be with Bieber and Cole on the mound, but still a good one nonetheless. 7:20, the 9-10 Arizona Diamondbacks are up against the 8-10 Atlanta Braves. Luke Weaver on the mound for these Diamondbacks. He's looked somewhat good this year. 1-1, 3.87 ERA. Just kidding, that says 3.78. My bad. Dyslexia? I don't know. Gabriel Ynoa on the mound for these Braves, 0-1 with a 3.94 ERA. The Braves are continuing to look to get back on track and catch the Mets in the division. I think the Mets are in first place in the East. They're in 500. I don't know. It's weird. The National League East is a mess right now. Braves are looking to get above 500. Close to it, anyway. At 8:10 tonight, the 9-8 Los Angeles Angels face off against the struggling 8-10 Houston Astros. Andrew Heaney on the mound for these Angels. Hasn't looked great so far this year. 1-1, 5.65 ERA. Has looked better since his first start, but still not great. And he's got to face Zach Greinke, who's 2-1 with a 2.81 ERA. One of the bright spots for the Astros this year so far. The Astros are looking to get closer to 500, and the Angels are looking to not fall to 500 after their good start. At 9-10, the Pittsburgh Pirates are playing much better than anyone expected them to. They're facing the mightily struggling 6-11 Minnesota Twins. Brubaker on the mound for the Pirates, 2-0, 1.76 ERA. Those are great stats. Faces off against J Happ, who does not have a win or a loss this season, with a 3.12 ERA. Hopefully J Happ can pitch the Twins into the win column so they can not fall further behind in the division and fall further behind 500. As of right now, the Chicago White Sox have not announced their starter today, and that to-be-determined starter has to face off against former White Sox pitcher Dane Dunning, 1-0, 0.6 ERA, really good stats. The Rangers are 9-10, and the White Sox are 9-9. They're looking to get above 500, while the Rangers look to also get to 500 and pitch better than people have expected them to all year. At 9-9, the Cincinnati Reds face off against the last place 8-10 St. Louis Cardinals. Sonny Gray makes his second start of the year on the mound for the Reds, 0-0 with a 4.15 ERA. He faces off against Kim, who's 0-0 with a 9 ERA. Wouldn't look too deep into it. Hasn't pitched that much this year, so I wouldn't worry about it yet, Cardinals fans. But he does need to pitch well so you don't fall further behind in the division. And you're behind the Pirates. That's not great. I'm going to be honest with you. At 8:40 tonight, the 9-9 Philadelphia Phillies face off against the 6-12 Colorado Rockies. Maybe this is the chance for the Phillies to get hot. They're playing in Coors. They definitely need some more victories if they want to keep pace in that division. Vince Velasquez on the mound for the Phillies, 0-0 with a 9 ERA, similar to Kim, hasn't pitched a ton this year. And then German Marquez, Colorado Rockies ace, on the mound for them, 1-1, 3.57 ERA. Pretty good for a Rockies pitcher. He looks to pitch well in Coors in this one against a good Phillies lineup. 8-10 are the Miami Marlins, and they face a red-hot, dominant 12-7 San Francisco Giants team. Did not think I was going to say that at any point this season. Sandy Alcantara on the mound for the Miami Marlins, 0-1, 3.28 ERA. He's looked really good so far this year, just looking to get that first victory with a decent Marlins team behind him, but he is facing a good Giants pitching staff. Alex Wood on the mound for these Giants, 1-0, 0 ERA. Marlins are trying to make that ERA not 0 anymore and make Alex Wood get his first earned run of the season, and Marlins look to try and push farther and closer to that 500 mark. In the last game of the day, the premier matchup of the day, the postseason game every time they take the field matchup of the day, the 11-10 San Diego Padres took the victory last night, of course, against the Los Angeles Dodgers, who are 14-5, which is absurd this early in the season. Yu Darvish on the mound for these Padres, 1-1, 2.55 ERA, and he faces off against Clayton Kershaw, 3-1, 2.19 ERA. Clayton Kershaw looks like vintage Kershaw this year. And he's looked great since last year as well. This is going to be an exciting matchup. It is every time these two teams match up. Padres are looking to get closer to the Dodgers in the division and get farther above 500. And the Dodgers are looking to keep the Padres as their little brother in the division and not let them get any confidence against them. Now, that's all the matchups today. So we'll talk about my pitcher, hitter to watch, and team to watch before we wrap this one up. My hitter to watch in this one is going to be Miguel Sano because the Twins are really struggling this year, and that part of that is because of Miguel Sano also struggling so far this year. His batting average is just 111. That's not good. He only has 2 home runs and 4 RBIs on the season. He's got a really bad slugging percentage. His on-base percentage is .350, so he's getting a lot of walks, so that makes his OPS not atrocious, but he hasn't slugged it all this year, has only 2 home runs like I said. He needs to be a middle-of-the-order bat for that Twins team if they're going to bounce back and be better in this one. So look for Miguel Sano to go deep today against Brubaker and the Pirates. Hopefully get his season back on track. Hopefully get the Twins season back on track. Now, my pitcher to watch in this one is going to be Kyle Hendrick, ace of the Chicago Cubs. Hasn't looked good this year. Like I said, he's got an ERA of almost 7. He's given up a ton of home runs, and that tells me 2 things. One, he's missing the spots with his pitches. He's leaving a lot of pitches up, which isn't good because he doesn't throw very hard, and he's not getting the movement on his pitches that he normally does. There's a lot of hitters in the league that are on record saying that Kyle Hendricks is one of the toughest pitchers they have to face when he's right, because he's got that nasty bowling ball sinker along with that circle change. It's hard to pick up the speed. It's hard to barrel up the ball against him. But when he doesn't have the movement that he's used to and he doesn't have the location that he needs, he's very easy to hit, which is why he's given up a ton of runs this year, and that's why the Cubs have struggled this year. But with the Cubs getting the sweep of the Mets over the weekend, Kyle Hendricks is looking to get his season back on track and prove to the Cubs fans and other teams that the Cubs are legit this year and that Kyle Hendricks is a true ace of a team like I think he is, but he's got to figure it out in this one. So look for him to have a good performance in this one. And then my team to watch in this one, this is simple. There's no clips to show. There's not much to talk about, but it's the Mets, and it's going to be the Mets every time Jacob deGrom is on the mound until they win with him on the mound. Just do it. For the love of God. You're facing Eric Fetty in the Nationals. Mets, please score. Get Jacob deGrom a win. That's it. That's why they're my team to watch. That's going to do it for me, guys, in today's MLB preview. Of course, like I said, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button. They help me out a ton. And hit that notification bell so you don't miss when every video goes live. Discord, podcast, socials, all linked in the description below. And I will see you in the next one. Peace out.